about the lumps. Just squish the lumps out with your silicone brush. It's going to be covered over. Oops, a little bit of blue in there. That'll be okay. Just spread it around. I didn't worry too much about the consistency of the paint, I mean, in terms of the thickness or whether there were lumps or not, because of the method that I'm doing. As you can see, it's getting the lumps. You just want to make sure your whole canvas is covered. And I can paint the sides later, so I'm not even worried about that right now. And this, I don't know if you can tell, but my canvas is tilted because I'm going to pour and let it drip down vertically. And then I'm going to go across it with my silicone brush horizontally. And the first color is yellow. Oh, I want to show you my inspiration. My color palette: white, yellow, orange, red, a mixture of 2 different purples, a mixture of 2 different blues, and green. And this is a result of when I pour the paint on my canvas and it runs off down in the bottom. It was such a beautiful pattern that I was not going to waste that. So I turned these upside down and dipped. That's where these came from. I have 3 of these. The other one it's similar. This was the last one. It got a little muddy, but you can still see the color differentiation. So I won't grab the other one, but this was the first one I did. And here's the yellow, the orange, the red, etc., that poured vertically, and then of course I swiped it horizontally. So I'm going to try to duplicate this because I like to have at least a set of 2 paintings when I'm doing this type of painting or this type of artwork. If I'm doing something like this, oops, this was a drawing that I did and then I painted over. I entitled it Wedded Bliss. It's my nephew and his beautiful wife. And she's expecting, which she's already had the baby. But just wanted to show you that example. Okay, on to now. So the yellow. And you want to try to save some paint at the end in case there are any gaps you need to fill in. Like, for example, let me see. Yeah, up here at the top. Oops. And the colors, don't worry about the mixing, just so you have a clear path of that particular color all the way down the canvas. And I added the silicone oil because I want it cells when I swipe. I did not mix as much paint this time because, oh no, I have a few little flakes in there. Sometimes I just leave it because when I try to get it, you know, it messes up the canvas. And so, yep, just let art happen sometimes. I love these bright colors too. Yes, yes, yes. I do want to explore some black and white patterns and paintings, but not yet. It's springtime and, you know, the flowers are blooming. Now look at the consistency of that. I don't know if that shows up. I don't want to move it too much. That one, my blue is a little thinner. The paints, this is of course acrylic. I usually work with acrylic, but this is a mixture of Dollar Tree brand paint and Walmart. Yes, I will eventually graduate to more expensive paint. Okay, and then you just repeat the color pattern. I do want to add a little more blue in there though, because yeah. Okay. Then you just repeat the same, and in the same pattern, same color pattern, the order in which you poured it the first time. Or not, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. I mixed my colors the other day, and so there's a little bit of drying and flaking around the rim, and some of it's falling in. Hopefully it will roll off the canvas. It is so beautiful at the bottom down here in this area. I'll try to show you that. Oh, it's so pretty where it pools. And I hope it doesn't get too muddy, because the first picture that I showed you, I'm gonna dip it in that to create another piece of art. That's a lot of paint that pools down there, and I certainly don't want to waste it. And I just noticed something. I laid my paint out in the wrong order. I wanted to have the blue, green, or I'm sorry, the green, blue, and the purple. It's gonna be just fine. Oh, I did the same thing with the green. I have it taking out too much of my blue. Let's see if I can fix that. Come on. Okay, so now up here at the top, I have a little too much space. So I'm gonna go back. Use I'm right-handed, so it might be a little wobbly. There we go. I just want this area across the top to be my paint has water, the acrylic paint, and the silicone oil, a few drops of that. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And I'm just sticking with the pattern that I had already. You know, just go with the flow. This blue paint is so thin. I had a little, I'm gonna go ahead and use this. Okay. Oops, had a little mishap there with the blue. It'll be just fine. Just let it happen. Oops, same thing with the yellow there. orange here. Whoops. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna come back with the red too. Try to cover up that yellow. Since I have some paint, that's part of the reason you want to try to have some paint left over. Okay, that's it. I have one that I left like this because my husband said, oh, that's pretty, I like that. Oops, okay, so I'm gonna plug in my heat gun. It's really a fast process also. Excuse the noise. And now you just take your silicone brush, which I think I got this at Dollar Tree. I'll try to link this as well as the heat gun in the description box. I believe I have the silicone oil linked in a previous video, but I can link that as well. So you just swipe across with a light hand. I love this. It reminds me a little bit of when I was a child and we would take our crayons and color in color blocks like this. And then we would take a black crayon and cover over the whole thing and then draw with a pencil or whatever, and all those beautiful colors came out. Of course, we're not putting black over it, but we're swiping. And look at the cells coming out. And you definitely want to use a light hand. And I'll tell you why. Because, oops, right there. See, I was a little heavy handed. That is clear to the canvas. So you want to. And as it runs down, that'll help me out and fix some of my mistakes. And that is why you want it to be tilted. And then, oh, that's so pretty, so pretty, so pretty. Okay. And since I have too much of the canvas showing at the top, because of course gravity takes it, the paint, which you want that, yikes, not very much blue. You want that, but you don't want it to take all of your paint. So you definitely want to save some for the end, for any corrections. Okay, this is the part where you kind of have to work fast because it can get a little muddy. Okay, so I'm going to try to be very light-handed so that I do not lose my paint. And you don't want to go over it too many times because that's where it gets muddy waters. Okay. And these silicone brushes you can use for, I think I got a pack of 5. You can use them for your makeup, you know, like I don't wear much makeup though because, yeah, a little lazy about that. But you can use them for applying your face mask. Lots of uses, lots of uses. Okay, now I'm gonna use the bigger one. I'm going to carefully lift it and put it on my cardboard, because at this point you want it level. You have your pattern already established. Just a minute. Right here, that's a little too much canvas there. Showing. Okay. I hope you can see that. So pretty. Excuse the rattling in the background. My husband is getting something out of a plastic bag that he purchased yesterday. Okay, so that's one. And then I just set that off to the side to dry. And look at the beauty that is happening on my painting. Yikes, I did not know that was in there. This is an old shoebox. I didn't pay attention to that being in there. Okay, so then any paint that you have left over, which as I said, I didn't mix as much because I didn't want to waste it. And we're about to head out, and I don't want to rush, and I don't want to have any paint, you know, getting hard or whatever. So yeah, then you just add it wherever you want to add it. There's a lot of orange there already. I'm gonna come on this side of the, this is my new palette. And this is, like I said, it's just a cardboard box, so no worries. You can either dispose of it or let it dry and reuse it. I let it dry and reuse it. And there are some that I have foil, tin foil at the bottom. The bottom of the box. And I just let it dry and I reuse it. Okay. Yikes. This part you want to kind of work fast too, because I'm going to dip it and it gets muddy. So yeah, I'm going to pour a little faster and a little more random. Break up some of that orange. The only thing about these brushes, which may be a problem, I don't know if you notice, it's not exactly level at the bottom edge. So that can be a bit of a problem. It was a 5-pack, you know. And I'm learning. Okay, I'm already out of blue. That's okay though. I'm gonna add some white too. Whoops. This is my lumpy white. Let's break up a little bit of that color in the back, where there are big blotches of just one color. Okay, I'm going to use all this white as well. And then I just rinse these little cups and let them dry, and I'm ready for the next time. I'm dipping this in water, so. Okay, and I already have my other, oops, I thought I had it opened. My Dollar Tree canvas. I don't prep my canvas or anything when I do this. Oh, I do want to, no I don't, because it's gonna get muddy. Alrighty, this is like fresh smelling canvas. Plop it down. And Dollar Tree popsicle sticks. You don't want to press too hard because that will make it get muddy. But you do want complete coverage. Oops. Cross your fingers. And then of course I have another piece of cardboard to drop it on. I just lift and flip. Yes, I like that. However, I do not, oops, there's the orange. I see some holes. Maybe I should have pressed a little harder. I don't want to dip it again because if I do, it will get muddy. Let's see. Yeah, there's some. I'm just going to scoop. Scoop in place. And it is not finished settling, so it will do some self-leveling and cover up some of those holes. And that part of I got paint on my hand. Part of the problem is the cheap paint mixing with the silicone oil is making it separate like that. But like I said, just let art happen sometimes, you know? Doesn't have to be so precise. Another idea I have working is pop-up art. I like touchable art, which I call texture art, but I also like pop-up art. And so I'm going to look at some of that. Of course, I'll have to paint the items first and then configure, you know, what I want in my head and see if I can bring it to fruition. If not, oh well. If it works out, I will definitely share. Okay. That's getting a little bit muddy. So, there you go. Isn't that just a lovely color burst? Wow. I may call this series Energy. These beautiful colors definitely give me energy. And the holes, as long as it's some color underneath the holes, like this here, I see just white. If it's a faint color underneath the canvas, I'm okay with that. But I do not want to see just white canvas. So I'm gonna fill that in a little more, hopefully, without creating more holes. Oops. I'm also looking into, excuse me, epoxy resin. I've been researching, and you can do it over a stretched canvas. You just have to reinforce it on the bottom. And if you Google it or even YouTube it, I'm sure some fellow tubers have done it over canvas. Because, I mean, you think this is a color explosion. The epoxy just brings it to life. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to put this over over on my cardboard to dry. And when all of this dries, I will show you, look at the paint on my hands. I will show you the entire series. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.